Even before the hunter is seen, the bank has already given him away. In these waters, even the armed must move with care. Down here, age moves slowly, and danger waits even longer. The air itself seems to listen. He has come ashore only just enough to remind the bank who shaped it. This is how such a giant feeds the world with fear simply by being present. Smaller crocodiles may share the water. They do not share his authority. When something this large moves, the land must make room for it. In the Black Channel, his weight becomes silence. The sawfish enters a place already chosen for it. Patience is not a tactic here. It is the nature of the ruler. The little scavenger understands what the larger beasts often do not distance is survival. He does not hurry. Nothing in his world requires him to. The lesser crocodile passes like a thought. The greater one remains like geography. At the water's edge, even stillness can be an act of violence. The coelacanth drifts through an old world, unaware that another, older terror waits above. Witnesses gather where power settles. From the higher ground, even the quick-footed come only to watch. The deeper channel narrows, and with it every hope of escape. In calm water, dread often arrives before motion. Where scraps remain, the sky remembers. Small scavengers are always the first to test the edge of danger. Nervous hunger brings them close. Wisdom keeps them from coming closer still. Beneath the bank, the trap is complete. The saw leads. The body follows. Fate waits at the bend. Now the estuary begins to close its hand. The coelacanth feels the water thicken with violence. At last, the stillness breaks. Once seized, there is no struggle without cost. The riverbed itself is drawn into the killing. Strength matters, but leverage in water is everything. This is not speed against speed. It is mass against survival. Below the struggle, the ancient fish flees a storm it cannot understand. What is taken in the channel is claimed on the shore. The giant feeds. The bank records every moment of it. News travels quickly in the wilderness, by scent, by silence, by absence. The smaller hunters edge closer when the great violence has passed. But possession is not finished simply because the struggle is. He feeds without urgency, as though time itself belongs to him. The scavenger would like a share. It does not yet have permission. Another master of the margin has caught the message. He is no trespasser by accident. He comes because the shoreline speaks of meat. Now the estuary holds two dominions at once. The dead remain useful long after the killing is done. The rival tests the air and finds another will waiting in it. Below the shelf, the older power begins to move again. Overhead, the witness circles above a boundary no wing can settle, and from the dry country, a greater land predator takes notice. The smaller runner knows when the stakes have risen. In the deep basin, life continues, but never untouched. The rival walks forward because hunger demands courage. The giant answers from below, where courage matters less than position. At the lip of the bank, uncertainty becomes peril. He rises not as a beast revealed, but as the water making itself flesh. Even a giant can be startled when the earth beneath him belongs to someone else. He has chosen the old answer forward. Now the claim is no longer over food. It is over the right to stand here at all. Height against breadth, reach against grip, land against bank. The first open challenge comes low fast and without ceremony. The shoreline begins to break under the argument. The crocodilian does not need elegance, only pressure. The taller rival resists, but resistance is not control. Bit by bit, the lower animal takes more of the world beneath them. To yield a step at the water's edge is to yield more than ground. Now the retreat begins to look like defeat. The rival withdraws because the bank has turned against him. And still the giant does not chase too far. He does not need to. A boundary has been redrawn, and both know it. After such struggle, the silence feels larger than before. Even the watcher on the stump studies the ruined lane with caution. Below the wrecked shelf, the old fish returns to its patient business. The saw remains a fragment of the violence above. Victors too must inspect what they have won. He patrols beneath the place where the conflict broke open. The lesser crocodile returns only because the greater one allows the water to remain. He feeds again without haste, as though the challenge had meant nothing. Over the scarred bank, the sky carries on. In the backwater, ancient life resumes its slow procession. He walks the outer margin like a king reading the limits of his realm. Far off now, the rival continues down another shore. The smaller scavengers hover at the edge of inheritance. Nerves and hunger bring the abelissaur in, but only just. A harsher crocodilian presence waits on higher ground, yet even that one does not descend. The witnesses change, but the law of the shelf does not. And then with almost no motion, the law is restated. From the dry heights comes a still greater threat, one built for land, not for margins. The nimble abandon the lane first. They know how these stories end. He turns upward now, toward danger from another world. The great land hunter looks down, but not yet down enough. Here, two empires meet at a single step of mud. Below them, the deep keeps its own counsel. One measured step is enough to ask a dangerous question. The answer comes from the waterline with astonishing force. Even the lord of the dry ground must reconsider where the earth is truly solid. He blocks the way not with rage, but with certainty. The land hunter turns back, not beaten perhaps, but denied. And that is enough. He leaves the water to the one creature willing to make the bank itself a weapon. Now there are two scars upon this place, and both point to the same owner. From above, the story is written clearly, every fracture leading back to him. Beneath the shelf, the basin remembers what the sky cannot see. Fragments drift downward through the hierarchy of the estuary. At the old hollow, everything has changed, and yet he has returned to where it began. Life re-enters the margins once danger has settled into order. He checks the ruined route once more, as though reading his own work. The smallest bodies inherit the quiet left behind by giants. In the deep, ancient calm returns, but not innocence. The perch remains. The feast does not. He makes one final round of the bank he has remade. And then, at last, he goes back to where his true body belongs. Only the head is visible now. The rest is memory depth and consequence. Those who once approached now keep their distance. From the sky, the shoreline still bears the shape of his passing. Below, the oldest fish continue through a world altered but enduring. Almost nothing remains of the kill except the ground that held it. The land giant departs the way all trespassers eventually must. The shoreline is his, again, not because he says so, but because it has been broken into saying it for him. The prey is gone. The evidence is not. Down in the trench, he becomes part of the water once more. Long after the giant is nearly gone, the estuary will still speak in his shape.